This video demonstrates how to service bailers on an Ideal 18 sailboat. The bailers are referred to as Anderson bailers, originally designed by Paul Elstrom from the Finn class. These stainless steel automatic bailers have been an industry standard for about 50 years. They're used on a wide variety of dinghies. So there's various types. They're either externally or internally mounted bailers. For the Ideal 18, they're referred to as new large external bailers. So you start this project by removing the bailers from the boat. At least I decided to remove them from the boat because of the amount of marine growth that had built up on the bailers themselves. You do this by removing 6 bolts from the hull. They have a lock nut, a washer, and a 1-inch stainless steel bolt with a Phillips head on the end. And there are 6 holes in the flange, so there are 6 bolts, 3 on each side of the flange. This is really a 2-person job. One has to be in the cockpit and one has to be underneath the boat in order to remove these 6 bolts. There are 2 bailers per boat. The tools to do this are simple. You have basically a socket head and a Phillips screwdriver, and that's about it for that. Once they're removed from the boat, as you can see, I have 2 bailers here, one in the closed position, which is this one here, and one in the open position. There's a lot of marine growth that is built up on these, mainly barnacles and other marine-like mussels and such. These boats were in Long Island Sound, so there's always a lot of marine growth in that environment. So the best way to get rid of all this stuff, as many people know, is to use various cleaners. I chose to use a gel product, and this is the on-off product. There's several other things out there, but this seemed to work pretty well. And the scrubby pad. That's pretty much all you need for that. And then once they're cleaned up, they look much better. The growth is pretty much removed. But in order to take the bailer apart, you need to remove the handle, which basically you can splay apart with your hands. And then once you splay the handle apart, there's an internal bushing. It's a black one. There's some are black, some are white. And that bushing comes off. And then what happens is, once this handle is off, you can push the bailer through the flange plate all the way. It just comes right off, and there's a little hinge that can separate here from the flange. So when you disassemble everything, you basically have 4 parts: the handle, the flange plate, they also call that the trap door, and the bailer device itself. So then the next thing you have to do, once it's all cleaned up, is you'll need the service kit from Anderson, which basically has a gasket inside of it. And that 5mm thick adhesive backed foam looks like this. And it's a rectangle, but the inner part pops out. Unfortunately, this is the waste material. You don't use this for anything. All you need is the small piece that remains. And that basically insets into the trapdoor with some adhesive. Because there was so much marine growth, I decided to just paint these with a Interlux prop paint and see how that goes. That might cut down some of the growth buildup, but even that doesn't last too long. So that's it. The parts you need for this are simple. All I have is a knife, a putty knife, screwdriver, and a small hex head. The materials is really just the bailer gasket, some cleaning supplies, some caulk, and like I said, I tried the paint. We'll see how that works. I did buy new bolts and nuts for all of our boats because some of them are stripped and have some adhesive on there, so it's probably easier to buy them new. They're cheaper in bulk quantity. And as far as the cost is concerned, just to put things in perspective, the new bailer assembly with the trap door and everything all set to go is $100 more or less. but I decided to service ours by just buying the gasket. Surprisingly, the gasket is $30, which is, as you can see from the original balers, the gasket is all but disintegrated. There's not even any remains of it left in there. And that's really what keeps the water out of the boat, that good seal. So it's important that you do service the balers, and I hope you found this helpful. Thank you.